Hey, so today we are back with Matt Diehl from Baltimore. His local newsletter is Eating Baltimore, social channels. He was just on, I don't know, what was it, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Something like that. But we got some legit awesome updates. I wanted to talk to him privately and I said, let's just make it public. And thankfully Matt's good with that. So um, primary primarily the thing we want to talk about that I'm very interested to hear what he's done because it's awesome is doing the cash drop concept that I've been working on for a couple months. Of course, took way too long, and then guys like Matt come in and just do it. I assume in like a day or two and crush it. So anyway, thanks for being willing to jump on and share what you did, and we can have some other updates. I know you got some other cool stuff working too. So thanks for
Yeah.
being here, Matt.
Great. Yeah. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you did the cash drop. So if everybody wants to see it, I don't want to deal with sharing it here, whatever. Go check his channel. It's only is what like a 10-second video or something, right? At
Yeah.
least
Yeah. It's not very
yeah.
long.
So is it just at Eating Baltimore?
Yeah. I think Facebook is Eating Baltimore and then Instagram is Eating dot Baltimore.
Okay, you can find it. All right. So you did the cash drop thing. So
Yeah.
essentially, if I can I'll just give my description, then you come in and clear it up. But the way I like to think about this idea is it's doing the thing that works extremely well on YouTube or any social media at the it's very relatively common at a big scale, right? So the obvious comparable here is Mr. Beast, right? It's like giveaway things. People love to try to receive giveaways, but they also like to watch people get giveaways. It's kind of like just super engaging concept. And then we, as local newsletter creators, can just do it in a hyper local way um, and get that engagement just from, well, maybe in your case, you may have gotten a lot of engagement outside of Baltimore,
Yeah.
but just taking that concept and doing it in a smaller way. And so in this specific case, it's just doing the cash drop. Literally just take money. I think, did you do like $100? Something
Yeah. I think it was like 80 or 100. I couldn't
like
tell. I Venmoed
yeah.
my friend helped me do it, and because he
Okay.
lives down there, and I Venmoed him like
Oh, he was
60
he the one who
bucks.
did actually stuck it on
Yeah.
the thing?
Yep.
Okay. So even better, you didn't do it. You had somebody do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you basically, or he basically put $80 and somehow I was trying to see, it kind of cuts really fast at the beginning, but basically put it on the back of duct tape
Hmm.
and then put the duct tape on a post. And then why I think your thing was more successful than when my partner did it, and I want to get clarity from you. But basically, it's like a close up of $80 sticking to a post, and then he zooms out, and you can see it's Baltimore. It's near the water. Like you can basically get a glimpse of where it literally is if you know that area. Um, and it was just a 10-second video of that, right?
Yep.
And so how many views? So you have this on TikTok and Instagram, and I guess Facebook too. But how many
Yeah.
views has this gotten so far?
In total, probably close to 1.5 million.
What?
Yeah.
I checked yesterday. It was like I thought it was like
Yeah.
200,000, which I was
when
impressed.
when you add TikTok, which I posted the actual video itself, and then the guy that found it tagged me on Instagram, and I couldn't figure out a way to like share it directly. I don't know what the deal was, but I screen recorded it, and then I posted that as the follow-up video, and that got 60,000 something views. And I think the TikTok was at close to 200,000, but the Facebook is what really popped off.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't check Facebook. That's why. Tell me,
yeah,
tell me about that.
that, yeah. So Facebook, as of, I think I checked yesterday afternoon, it was at like 1.2, 1.3 million views. The crazy thing is that the immediate, like right after posting, the platform that took off was TikTok. And that got, maybe not like right after posting it, but the next, like within 24 hours, that was at 100,000 views. Um,
Okay.
and then the one thing I mentioned this in a tweet is the one thing I think I messed up was posting Facebook and Instagram, like co-posting it instead of posting it individually
Okay.
to
Explain that because
Instagram.
I would
So
not have thought that.
Instagram, the views are at like 5,000, which is strange to me. And I think it was because like when I posted on Facebook, it says, "Do you want to post it to Instagram too?" And I think not posting it individually to each platform was the difference maker. I'm
Do
not
you
sure.
think the algorithm likes it better if you post them separately?
For some reason, yeah. I'm not
Interesting.
exactly sure. So
Yeah.
I've seen the success that I saw other accounts having, that accounts that just do cash drops. They don't have any other
Yeah.
business aspect to them. they primarily all the views are on Instagram. And so I
That's
was
right.
expecting Instagram to kind of be the best performer, but that wasn't the case.
Interesting. Okay. It's so frustrating that that's probably correct. The whole like, especially let's just say the scheduling tools, whether it's Facebook's just for the
Yeah.
two or the scheduling tools for all of them. It's like it makes your life so much easier, but it seems like it hurts you. It like doesn't
Yeah.
work. So it's like they want you to just do more work. They must have internal logic of why, but it's so annoying
I've
because
come
it just
across like
don't
there's a
work.
couple of platforms that like do the auto posting to like TikTok and Facebook and all the social platforms. And I don't know if it's just a rumor or if there's any truth to it, but like they view auto posting from a separate platform, like the algorithm pushes it less, maybe. I'm
Yeah,
not,
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it. But
Yeah.
whatever.
So,
If it's reality, and especially if you have something that you think can take off like this, it's
mhm,
probably just worth the extra time. Where maybe all your posts, it's like, oh, okay, it's not worth it for every little
mhm,
thing, but you got something that might be awesome. Maybe it's worth
yeah.
it. So
So the trajectory or the timeline was like 24 hours in, TikTok took off, and then the super strange thing was like 48 hours maybe after Facebook was at, I remember looking at it, it was at like 500 views. And I was like, oh, all right, well, that kind of lines up maybe with the demographic. And then 48 hours later, it was at 50,000 views. And then it's just absolutely taken off
it's
from
gone crazy.
there.
So I have heard, I think Chris Kerner talks about this a bunch lately, and I've heard a few other places too, that for whatever reason, things are really going well on Facebook specifically.
Yeah.
Most people seem to think it's dead, it's gone. And the reason I think this is again just my layman's, I actually look at Facebook still, maybe it's because I'm old, but uh it's because so many people aren't on it anymore for like the person to person stuff. I think so many people are on it for groups. That's the reason I'm on it primarily is
Yeah.
like Facebook groups, but they can't just have it only be Facebook group content, whatever. So it seems like they've transitioned more to just interesting content, right? So instead of it being your grandma's update or your breakfast thing, it's just whatever they think is highly engaging content is what's on there. And the other big thing I know is true, at least to some degree, I don't know how it works. Maybe you'll find out. Is I think they're paying people for like highly engaging
Oh,
content.
yeah.
So you
Yeah.
might, I don't know if you have to like apply or something to be
Mhm.
eligible, but you might for 1 million views, you should get paid for that.
Yeah, yeah. I submitted the interest. I'm not sure. There's a couple of people like niche site Ben. I know he does Facebook monetization, or he's
Mhm.
monetized on Facebook. I had a vintage Christmas Facebook page that I built last year into this year to like 130,000 followers,
Nice.
and I could not for the life of me get monetized. I don't know if it's
Oh,
because
really?
some of the content was AI, but for this, like this is actual, human content. So I submitted the interest for that, and I was thinking, yeah, all right, yeah, maybe that's one way to bring in some revenue.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that would be killer. So, okay, let's go back. Just I want to get some real details here because again, I had been wanting to do this for a while, as usual. Just kind of maybe later. Let me get the details, blah blah blah. And of
Hmm.
course, I think what you've confirmed, which I was already leaning toward about 2 weeks ago, was like, look, just freaking do it because I actually have a guy out here in my area who's a videographer, like a really professional editor videographer. And I was talking to him about it about 3 4 weeks ago, and it's like, oh, we'll set up a camera at this angle for when the person finds it, and we'll set up a camera. We'll follow you as you do it, and then you can have we'll have 3 different angles, very Mr. Beast style. And I even remember I'm talking to him, I'm like, we should do this, but we don't need to do this the first time. Like we just go do basically what you did is what I need to do. And so now, of course, I'm going to do it. But so let's get into the weeds though. So, I mean, it sound again, just the prep and everything sounds like you didn't basically do much. You just, well, in this case, it was your buddy, whatever. You just gave him money and said,
Yeah.
hey, go put this somewhere public and stick it to a post. Like, did you even tell him what to do there, or
Yeah, I sent over a couple of examples. Like there's one in Austin called Find the Cache
yeah,
ATX. That's
yeah,
a
yeah,
good
that's the
one.
one. Yeah,
I sent him that example and a couple other ones, and it was just like, just make sure you do it slow. Just make sure you pan out and kind of give people like it's like a scavenger hunt basically.
that's
And
right.
so the whole idea was to do it in like a touristy, popular area. And so yeah, that's what he did. And really, there was nothing else to it. I mean, I think it does
Okay.
well because it's just like very raw and unedited. Um, it's probably
Yeah.
I've seen people do even less than that. Really
Yeah.
just roll
I
up
mean,
the
those
cash.
the ones you're talking about. So, and this is what I had found, whatever, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, when I first started thinking about this idea, was the one in Austin because I'm in the Austin area. Although they do it in like 20 different big cities, but I don't know if
Yeah,
Austin's one
yeah.
of the bigger ones. But
DC is one that's really
it
popular here.
near you, okay. They again, I'm not an expert in the space, but like it's not good. Like the way they
No,
edit,
yeah.
the way they film, it's
Looks
not good.
brutal.
Yet they
Yeah.
have an insane amount of followers, and I'm assuming this is why I got so excited about the idea. They're not doing it well. Plus, they don't have any other way to monetize. That's where
Yeah.
people watching this with local media companies, you have way more ways to monetize this, which is the whole point of why we're doing what we're doing. So, if somebody is doing this poorly, in my opinion, and having crazy success, like what if you did it good? Now,
Yeah,
you can
right.
still, I still think what you did. I'm not saying you did it poorly. Yours was better than theirs. Um, and what I'm going to do will be a little better the first time. But then imagine once it's working, once you have that big audience, how
Yeah.
you could do more unique things with this,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, that's sort
Uh,
of the next step. But I
yeah,
can talk a little bit about that.
yeah.
But
Let's talk about what you're thinking. But first, I just want to be so one thing that I'm. This is a stupid question, but I don't care. I'm just going to ask it. When I see the video of like $80 next to duct tape, like does the duct tape mess up the money? I'm
yeah,
like, is that
that's
the
like there's as of yesterday, there were like 500 comments about,
asking
and
that?
probably 90% of them were like, "Oh, good luck using that money because it's going to
Yeah.
rip." I have no clue. I think,
Okay.
from what I have thought about, is that money is different than like just paper, right? So it's not like easily rippable or it shouldn't be. People were commenting like, "Oh yeah, just boil it with some hot water or whatever, pour hot water on it." I haven't heard from the guy saying he can't use the
Yeah,
money,
you
so I
can't use
think
it.
he easily
Yeah.
pulled it off.
Well, okay, so that's interesting. So funny. Speaking of money, I'm always fascinated with this because I studied abroad in Australia. Their money is like actually indestructible, their cash,
Hmm.
and ours is not. Like ours
Yeah, it's
definitely
not total. Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not literally paper, right? It's some sort of cotton or whatever,
Yeah,
but it is rippable. But there's an obvious answer here, or solution, which is what I was thinking about. Is it's an extra step, but take
yeah,
the money, stick
branding.
it in some sort of like literally in an envelope, and then
Yep.
put the envelope on. I mean, it's just whatever.
Yeah,
So there's ways
yeah,
around that.
yeah. That's the next thing I'm gonna do. And so I like the way I've my phone has been, over the past couple of days just blowing up with just
Really?
constant comments and stuff like that.
Oh, you
But
mean okay, social media?
yeah, so the idea, like, it's been easy to sort of leverage to outreach to restaurants because that's kind of the idea that I have next is just to use
Yeah.
this as a way to work with restaurants, whether it's for free or paid to bring in foot traffic. So, um, yeah, the comments that all of them were about the paper and everything. So the next step is like, okay, if I had more time to do it and if I didn't do it kind of just as quickly as possible, put it in an envelope, take, make some like branded stickers, put a sticker on it or something like that, and then put it to the duct tape.
Oh, dude, that's such a good idea. I didn't think about that. Have the envelope, have who. So even my partner did this. He already did it. He moves so fast. I love it. But it's not always the best for quality. But he's already done like two and he's about to do his third one. But the second one he did, which I think is the point here, and I believe the Austin people do this as well, is they get the restaurant. So I think what they do is they'll do drops at restaurants and the restaurants have to of course pay for that, but then they
Yeah.
would keep, I'm just making up numbers here, I don't know, but let's assume they keep half of it, right? So it's like, okay, we'll do this for $1,000, we're going to take 500 and then we'll put 500 in the envelope, right? And then it's for the restaurant. So you could do it at a restaurant, which already, like, you probably don't need to put anything on the envelope if like your pan out is like the sign of the restaurant, like
Yeah.
that's right. Or if it's not like a location based company or something, if it's like an accountant, well, that wouldn't be a good one, but whatever. If it's some non-location where you're not going to do it at the location, that's a really cool way to brand it. Is have their logo or information on the envelope. So when you're zooming in, showing yourself putting money in the envelope and sticking the envelope to the duct tape, it's like right there on who it is.
Yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
hadn't thought about that. That's a great idea.
So
Um,
I
yeah,
think
go
what
ahead.
we're gonna do is I had a connection of a guy that owns a restaurant downtown around the Baltimore Harbor, and so I reached out to him the other day, and he was all for it. Like at this point in like the how many times I've done it, only the one time. Like I want to do it. I don't know if I want to do it weekly. I was thinking about making it a little bit more special, doing it something like monthly. So at some point in August, we're gonna partner up, and I was thinking about really just doing a mix of cash and a gift card. Um, and
Mm,
then putting it the restaurant that this guy has is kind of like off the beaten path a little bit, but it's in sort of a central area, a touristy area. So the thing we're going to do is just put it in a spot that's close to the water that everybody sort of knows. And then the restaurant is really just like a block away.
and just put his gift card in. I mean,
Yeah.
eh, yeah, you just brought up some good points because there's obviously none of us are experts here. I think even just this whole concept is still
Yeah. It's all so
relatively
new.
new. I mean, so
Yeah.
there's no right answer here. But like, I actually had this idea of um, when you talk about gift cards, if you did it where it was like the primary prize was, ideally, let's make it like real money, like $500 would be
Right.
ideal, right? And this is where if you knew you were getting 100,000 views on all these or whatever, $500, but then have like 10, $25 gift cards for everybody who came, like for the second to 10th
Yeah.
person who came.
Yeah.
And then that way it's like, A, you're still rewarding people who weren't first. It's more content if you're trying to film uh, the people finding it. So now you can film people finding the gift cards, which is probably good for the business. More content. Um, so that's one angle of it. So sorry, I wanted to confirm real quick on what you did because I was really interested and intrigued when
Yeah.
I saw the person pull it off. Did he just? Are you saying that video of the guy winning? He just on his own decided to film it? I mean, that's
Yeah, I
okay.
think part of it is the comment that I added, the text that I added to the post. It was like I had seen Find the Cache ATX. I went back to their first post and it was like, they didn't film any winners or anything like that at
Mm-hmm.
that point. And
Uh-huh.
it was, tag us when you find it. And so that guy literally like ran up to it. He filmed it and tagged us. And like that was really the only way that I, knew
Yeah,
that it was found. That was in, he actually did it. It was 53 minutes after I had posted it. So
53. Okay, so that's actually, but because at the time when you first posted, it's like not necessarily getting tons of engagement. Probably took
yeah,
some time.
right,
So,
right. It was,
but
yeah, it was probably like, I don't know, a couple thousand views, like under
yeah,
5,000 views maybe. So he
yeah,
had just saw it, was pretty relatively close. And yeah, I actually was expecting like it to take longer. Obviously, it's the first time I've done it. And he didn't even actually follow the page, right? He wasn't a follower. I guess it had just started being shown
it's
in
being
real
shown. Yeah,
Instagram or whatever. Um, but yeah, there's plenty of stuff that I would do differently, and I think would help out like more of the branding. But I did want to talk about some of the numbers too, in
yeah.
terms of like what it actually got me.
Tell me.
So that's the one 0.5 million views, whatever. Facebook, I was at 4,500 followers. Now I'm at 14,000.
So you got 10
So they,
10,000 followers.
yeah, that's been solid. And then I've gotten, as of this morning, like 500 new email subscribers, which I think is for
Okay.
us, like local newsletters, is like the, part of the point of this whole thing, right? What I did wrong was I didn't have like a templated comment because like on Facebook, right, when you comment as an author, it doesn't always you can't pin it to the top. And so like it kind of is filtered through in the comments and there's 500 comments. So
So find it. Are you? So there's a way to make sure it's at the top
well,
if you
I
do it right
when
away.
you yeah, when you do it right away, I think so the plan is to do to make the comment to drop a subscribe link right away. I dropped it maybe like at 500,000 views or so. I just like it was almost overwhelming with everything that's coming through my phone. But then that equaled like 250 new subscribers. And then I started responding to some of the comments, either whether it was trolling or if it was like people responding positively. And I would drop the subscribe link in there. And then on Facebook, you can see like people react to the comments. And so, like, the comments of like how did you get it off the duct tape, it had like 83 likes or 85 likes, and then my comment to subscribe had like 100 plus likes, and so people were seeing it through that, and joining. So that has really over the past couple of days trickled in and added up to like 500 new subscribers.
So that's awesome. And on TikTok, I saw or when I looked, I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before, you had like 14,000 people on followers now on
Yeah,
TikTok.
yeah, Yeah.
What did you have before? Like,
Part of that was I a while ago I had bought a TikTok account.
oh,
So
did you?
when I
Oh,
bought
nice.
it, it was at like 10.2.
Okay,
I
so you got
have though I have gotten like 2,000 followers from that.
so you got two.
Um,
The
yeah.
2,000
So
on one, 10,000 on
mhm.
another. Look like Instagram. It's just not working on Instagram right
Yeah,
now, right?
with the I think it was like at 5,000 views or so, and
Yeah,
I think I got me like 37 new followers.
yeah. So for
So
whatever reason, just it's
yeah,
crazy how that works. Um, okay, going back, I'm curious just to talk this through because again, I don't know the answer either.
yeah,
You just said it. We should just talk through it. You said you want to make it special, so like you were thinking once a week, but maybe that's too much. Um, I think in an ideal world, like when this becomes a thing and people know about it, like you probably would have, just like I assume the Austin ones, like they have tons of inbound on businesses willing to pay them to do it, right? So let's just
yeah,
assume that was the case. So it's not your own money essentially.
right.
So if it didn't cost you anything or you made money, ideally, um, would it make more sense to do monthly to make it special? Or another way I would think about it is maybe you do it every week, but then one like the last week of the month is a bigger one, right? So like every week it's $100, for 3 weeks it's $100, and then once a month it's $500,
Yeah,
right? Because the reason how I'm thinking about that, whether again right or wrong, don't know, but is engagement, right? You want people to like constantly be thinking. It's the same read. I'm thinking about the same way as a newsletter, right? If you wrote a newsletter once a month, it's kind of like, yeah, it's cool. Maybe you'll get some engagement, but then you're not like in people's brains all the time. Where the more you do it, the more it's like, oh yeah, that company. People would just like know the company, know the brand more. Um, so anyway, again, that's more work. I'm not saying it's
yeah,
necessarily the right answer, but that's kind of how I'm probably thinking about it. What do you think?
yeah, yeah. In a perfect world, like yeah, I think if it constantly drove engagement and subscribers, and then also like created that inbound flow of people interested, yeah, I would
Mm-hmm.
definitely do it. And there's plenty of spots. Like Baltimore is a small town, but it's a big area of like different little pockets of neighborhoods, where they have, there's a restaurant scene in each neighborhood, and so there's plenty of opportunities to do stuff like once a week. In terms of my bandwidth, yeah, I'll have to figure that out. But again, like I have a couple friends that live downtown
Yeah,
that can do it super easy.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, so I have the one restaurant locked in, ready to go for August. And then I was also able to loop them into like a for the newsletter. I'm trying to do um, a beer card, a beer punch card. I've seen a couple of people do
yeah.
that for like a restaurant card. So I haven't really been able to get that going after I posted a poll on the newsletter and got like the most interaction I've gotten, maybe 40 or
Really
50 votes for, and 95% of them were, yes,
yeah.
let's do it. That sounds great. So
Interesting.
I think I'm going to, turn that interest into, giving somebody a free beer at 6 different stops and make it kind of like a Baltimore beer tour. But then monetize that to the subscribers.
Would you? So I know we've talked about this in Mike's group, and lots of people have talked about this idea. My concern with those, just in general, I know some people have had success, a lot of people haven't, but it's just if you're trying to charge for it. Are you
Mhm.
saying you would charge for it, or is this
Yeah.
you
Yeah. It would
would
be,
charge for it?
I think it would be like, $20.
20. Okay.
Um, and what is a beer now? Like a beer here is probably like
8.
7, $8 maybe.
Yeah.
I had one restaurant say like, oh, they can't do anything above $8. So, if you add, the 6 of them up, it's probably close to like $50. Um,
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
so yeah, I have to work on a little bit of the positioning, but sort of the grand scheme of it is like, people are interested and restaurants want that traffic. So
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's definitely something there. I just think for me, when I think about that, is I know it can be, yeah, anytime you're asking somebody to give you money, like it's just harder than it seems. Um,
yeah, for
and
sure.
unless you just make it such a no-brainer, right? And that's kind of where my head goes as I think about um, opportunities like this is just one, but I think there's a ton that are similar. And how do you solve for the like just people not wanting to give money at all? And I think there's some angles around it, but I'm still working through those. So I'll share
Yeah,
that when
yeah.
I figure it out. Here, last question on this. editing. So again, coming back to our point about like, oh, you should post them individually, post them from your phone. Again, I think the reason is just they want to treat it very realistic, natural, people just sharing on the fly. Again, I don't know why that's true, but I think it is. Did you edit it? Like, did you just, well, again, he filmed it. Did he just send you the video? How did you get
Yeah.
it from it was filmed to it's on social media?
Yeah, the only editing that I did was trim the first second of it, which was his
Yeah.
girlfriend saying go.
Yeah.
And that was really it.
So he
Um,
sent you the file, you
yep,
cut the first second out, and then is this on your phone?
on the phone. Yeah, on
So
my
you use
phone.
your
Yep.
phone, and then you just went into each app, or I guess the business one and TikTok, and just
Yep.
pushed it through.
Yeah. And I had just a templated like, text of the post, and just had it already in drafts and just added the video
Okay,
to it
so
and posted.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. On yours, this is something I was thinking about a lot yesterday because I made my first, or technically my second, but my first like kind of talking head video about something
Oh
being
yeah, I
built
saw
in town.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I used Loom. I'm still this one literally. I'm still struggling. I need to go back and watch Jacob's episode where he explains how he does it because Loom doesn't do the remove your background, and I don't know. I need to figure out how to do that. But another thing that I was thinking about is having some sort of text in the on the page at least for the first second, right? So if they go through your profile, there's some sort of text of what it is, not just an image of, like in your case, potentially like an image of a post, literally just an image of a post. Be like, what is this? I did see on yours though, you at least have it said Baltimore, I think, at the bottom. Like it looked like
Oh
a
yeah.
map
Um,
designation. Does the app itself do that or let you just do that?
I put the location when you
The location.
are, I think it was on Facebook, but definitely I know Instagram and TikTok. You can set a location. So I just set it for Baltimore, Maryland. I've done that
And
with all those videos that where you can actually set the location, just in hopes of kind of reaching that audience
exactly.
base. Yeah.
So not only does it's kind of telling the system, hey, this is the area for people to
Hmm.
show it to, but also it literally has the word Baltimore on the screen at the very
Yep.
beginning,
Yeah.
which I think is good. It's beneficial. So
Yeah, and I think you can do that. I think like if I did it in a different spot, outside of Baltimore, the Inner Harbor, there's places like Canton and Fells Point in that same area. You can even do it
you can
specific to
go
like, yeah,
even
you can
smaller.
drill
Yeah.
farther down. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good because again, my instinct was, well, the only solution then is to go make an image in Canva and set it as the image. Just so much extra work that I just don't want to do. Plus, it's adding in computer use where it
Hmm.
seems like they just want it to be just quick on your phone, set it, forget it. So anyway, that's helpful that's the way to do it. So man, I'm so glad you did this because now you're kind of pushing me. I'm gonna try to do it. Probably can't today, but I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow if I can. Just a quick one like you, and then I'm gonna talk to my videographer and see at some point how it goes if we tried like a
Yeah.
super professional version. Um, sometimes professional versions I think do way worse, but sometimes they can do way better. So
Yeah.
it'll just be interesting to see.
The ones that I've seen, like I have to go back and look at some of the other accounts that have posted this stuff. But like the winter videos that they do, so they just literally like sit on a park bench,
Yeah, they
right?
just
Like
aim it at the
50
post until
feet
somebody
away.
shows up. Yeah,
Yeah, and then they
yeah.
do time. I think like some of the stuff like the timestamps of watching people come by, like be close to the spot and maybe not realize it.
Oh, and not know. Oh, film people
Yeah,
walk by it when there's money
yeah,
on the wall and they don't know. That's just entertaining. Like, because as a viewer, you're like,
right.
what? Don't you know there's $500 sitting there? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and that
that,
one, those videos, I think I have to go back and look, but I think those have gotten even more views than like the actual post itself. It's like somebody winning, $500, finding the money.
you think the ones
I think
showing people
yeah,
not seeing it?
the results videos, yeah, of them. Like, so like the original post is like a quick like 15-second thing of like, go find the cash, here it is, and you zoom out. But then I just think the emotional piece of somebody finding it and like having the people that, miss it or walk by, and then they even film, a lot of the times people will film after the fact of like the second, third, fourth, fifth person coming up and then being like, oh crap, like somebody
Yeah,
found
yeah.
it
Showing the
already.
people missing
So
it. Yeah, yeah, totally. Though that's why I'm a little surprised that like your version is the one that's more viewable. If you just explained this to me, that's what I would have thought is the
mhm.
second one. The winners would be the one that would be the most exciting, and maybe they both are, but it's cool that the first ones are too. one of the question actually relevant to what we're talking about, because
Yeah.
I have this question even for my partner and even how these other guys do it. If you're doing it at a restaurant, like where you're getting someone's permission, they're paying for it, whatever, and you're doing it at their place, one of my biggest concerns would be preventing them or somebody they know or an employee like getting it. And again, I don't know if there's even a solution to that. Have you thought about that? Because that seems like that would be a pretty big problem.
I haven't really thought about like the some of the comments on there like sort of made me think about it, but it was like, oh yeah, this is totally fake. Like you
Yeah,
stop
you're just gonna
filming
take
and
it
then you
yourself.
grab the
Yeah,
cash. Yeah.
yeah.
Which is funny because the guy that found it had like multiple tattoos on his hand versus the guy that put it on the post.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know if that's something like that you can avoid by saying like to the restaurant like, hey, we're gonna do this week, but maybe we're just gonna drop it like randomly.
Oh, don't even.
Um,
Yeah, but then that would help. But
it
again, because
depends
it's
because then
there,
they
like,
probably they might have to be ready for foot traffic. I don't know. I have
yeah,
to. I'm gonna. That's something I'll have to figure out and tweet about
yeah,
and see like what the stipulations are going to be. But yeah, that's definitely a thing. I'm sure there's plenty. I've seen some accounts that say they pre-record drops. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it's definitely something to think about
yeah.
that I've got to figure out.
Yeah, you should definitely work on it. I think for anybody watching this who's wanting to just try it, just do what you did, do what I'm planning to do. Just do it in a public place. You don't have to worry about that, or you don't tell
Yeah.
anyone.
For the first,
Okay.
I mean, like, especially like the first couple of times, like, I mean, people just like want to watch that stuff. And, the comments, even though a lot of them are like questioning the realness of it, like that feeds the algorithm. Like
I
I was,
so
so
I'm
yeah,
so glad you said that because even literally, I was thinking about this, and let's talk about it. The fact that I had this idea in my head that putting cash on duct tape could be a problem, so don't do that. And then you explain, you get hundreds of comments of people saying, "Oh, you can't put money on duct tape." That's actually good to have people
right,
do that. So if you actually solve that problem, you're going to get less comments. So in a
right,
weird way, this is the whole thing where I'm sure I see it now on Facebook all the time. People know this, where it's like make a post and put something wrong in the post. If it's a fact-based thing, oh, in the 1990s, this is how things worked, and then have one of the things you list be from the 2000s, and
yeah,
you'll get a million comments like, "Oh, that was in 2006, you dummy." It's like they did that on purpose because you
yeah,
you
piss
comment,
people
right?
off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so, man, it's like screw up the money, and that'll help your
Yeah, I think that's why
whatever.
that's one of the main reasons why it did so well on Facebook because there were so many people that started to see it a little bit like within the couple of hundred views or so and then comment and be like, how the hell are you going to get the money off of the duct tape? And then it kind of just started to spiral from there. I mean, like again, I said there was like 500 comments. I would guess like 400 of them are either fake or how do you get the money off? So
Yeah,
all of that was just feeding it and took off from there.
that's awesome. You know what I'm gonna do when we're done? I'm gonna go stick $1 on some duct tape and see how it pulls off, and we'll do the test. But okay, cool, man. Well, I'm stoked for you doing this. So this is really cool. Again, I think I am a little worried that if too many people watch this and see everybody doing this and start doing it more, is that going to dilute the value? I mean, hopefully not, especially if you're the only one in your area doing it. Like, what does it matter that someone's doing it somewhere else? Like, it
Yeah,
hopefully shouldn't
right.
really matter.
Yeah, there's a guy. I mean, I've seen a couple in Baltimore, but
There's
there's
already people
just
doing it both.
yeah, but they're
Yeah,
different neighborhoods, like
yeah,
not maybe not as populated, and like again, they don't have like the backbone of
that's right.
like a business behind it. A
That's right.
lot of them are, especially like in DC and even in Texas, they partner with the XYZ company or they sponsor it. I saw one today that was an Instagram influencer was the partner behind it.
Mhm.
Um, and so there's really nothing like actually behind it. They're not building a list. They're not, sending out a weekly newsletter.
Yeah,
Um, so there people are making money from it with just the sponsorship side of it.
that's right.
But yeah, there's definitely some guys around here, some people around here that they post it and it's just like, okay, it gets a couple 100,000 views, whatever. And that's really it. They kind of promote about sponsorship, but there's like again, like okay, if you see one post with a sponsor, it gets like 100,000 views or a million views or whatever. Great, but then there's not again a ton behind it.
There's nothing else. That's like the only way they can make money, where we can make money in so many other ways. That's why,
Yeah.
again, I keep coming back to the umbrella organization with all the different,
Yep.
arms, or legs of the stool, whatever, that make this so much more beneficial for us versus these other companies doing it. So, um, okay, cool. Okay, so I wanted to also chat with you, Matt, about the directory angle because I think we talked about that a little bit
Yeah.
on the last one, but I think you've got some updates. Yeah, tell me about what's going on with the directory because I'm very excited about this concept, but I'm not doing it yet. So the more I can learn, and for everybody else, the better.
Yeah, yeah. So the directory, the Eating Baltimore directory, has started getting the idea of it initially was to just bring in organic SEO traffic and then drive newsletter signups, which is starting to happen right now. We've got about like 1,300 hits a month from just organic Google search traffic, and that's I have to look at the numbers, but it's been bringing in like one or two new subscribers per day. So originally, I had it as like a gated access. I say originally uh, like the middle of the month I started trying out like a gated access, like just like give your email and then you get free access to the directory. And I think that might have turned some people off a little bit. So when I changed it to just a pop up after like 5 seconds of scrolling, that's helped a little bit. Um, and so I launched another one for the other newsletter that I have, and sort of did the same thing. But the one thing that I've done in Replit, the code builder that the AI coder that we had talked about before, is in just thinking about like packages and visibility that I can offer sponsors, is building a back end ad dashboard. And so I've been able to, similar to like what you see of like bigger digital publications with banner ads, with like some sponsored content. For both of those, I've built out like a platform to just or a dashboard to just upload a banner image or like a square image or whatever, a billboard, and then throw that on the site and see the analytics on the back end side of it. So that's been good. I've sort of used that for some of the sponsors that I've gotten. I had like a decent run of um, 4 or 5 sponsors at the beginning of July, and so I've just as like an add-on or a bonus for them, I've put their banner ad up onto the site. Gotten some impressions and clicks there. Um, yeah, so the second one that I built for the other newsletter, that's gotten probably like 300 so far hits a month. A lot of that at the beginning stages has been me promoting it to the newsletter, which I don't do as much for the Baltimore one, which I probably should do. Um, but that one, there's only like 150 restaurants in the area versus Baltimore and the area around it. I think I've got like 2,300 restaurants on there.
Nice. Okay, so this is awesome. So how are you? Is this like a stock WordPress directory system, or like how'd you actually pull this off?
Yeah.
Like from
When
zero
I
to one.
built, I really took it's nothing in WordPress. Actually, I've been pretty impressed with like how much you can do within Replit. Um, I literally just did sort of the same thing with the Baltimore directory was, hey, I want, SEO optimized restaurant directory with featured restaurants, and then like a page for all restaurants, a page for neighborhoods, and a page for cuisines. And then I had ChatGPT write sort of like a document for that that I then fed into Replit. So the initial one, the Baltimore one, was kind of like the initial model, and then for the other newsletter that I'm doing, that one is looks very similar to the Baltimore directory. Um, and then I actually built one for the potential business partner who runs a local newsletter in another town in the Baltimore area. I built one for him because he wanted to have like something more valuable for his current subscribers versus like SEO traffic. So we're kind of seeing it a little bit differently. Um, but again, like same sort of thing, like featured restaurants on the front page. And I actually added for all of them so far, a featured business section with like hopes to sort of monetize that, where it's just for businesses. It's click to call, click to go to the website. It's got a description. Um, and yeah, so that's both of those have been going pretty well. And ideally, if you're launching more newsletters in different locations, like this is just something like valuable that your subscribers um, might want to have. And there's probably some directories there, like the stuff that I found in my area. It, again, looks like it's built in like the early 2000s.
And it's funny because a lot of those are still monetizing. I
Yeah,
mean,
which is
that's the thing I'm
crazy. Yeah.
fascinated with looking at these legacy media, local media companies or directory sites like this, where they're making real money with just these horrible 20-year-old systems that probably nobody goes to. Like,
Mhm.
what an opportunity to come in and do it from the ground up, 2025, high quality, um, with all the tools, the back ends. It's easier for us to do all of that. It does seem like a big opportunity. Um, okay, real quick though, on the so I understand because I've already built a directory, at least the
Yep.
visual, the front end in B0, which I'm really excited about. But it's the back end and or primarily how you get all the data in there. Because the way I think about it is scraping Google Maps or whatever for all the local info, and then basically creating a page for every, let's say it's restaurants, for every restaurant in town already has a page. Um, is that what you're doing? And if so, like, how do you actually do that? Or are you not doing that and requiring the owners to like do
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, I've done exactly that. I've done the what is it called? Outscraper, which I think
Okay.
Chris Corner has talked about a
Yeah.
little bit. Outscraper based on zip codes,
Okay.
and then for like restaurant, um, and then taken all that and told ChatGPT to turn it into JSON.
Mhm.
And so that the for the Baltimore directory that I did, it was a lot of like back and forth. I gave it the CSV file instead of like a JSON file, and it was much harder for Replit to read that, and then to filter through all the information and put like together a decent restaurant card or a restaurant listing.
Mhm.
But when I did JSON, it was like the process probably took 10 times less the amount of work than the original idea. So yeah, it's literally Outscraper to Replit, and then it's really just designing the card itself or the listing itself and
So you're
adding.
saying you didn't need to do anything other than out. So like let's say
Yep.
Outscraper gets the data essentially.
Yep.
That and then you just feed that in Replit, and Replit basically built the whole site, and everything just works. That
Yeah.
sounds like way easier than I thought it was.
So the when you do Outscraper, it from Google Maps, it pulls like the main image of like the restaurant. Really, that's been the maybe the most difficult part. So I took all the data within the Excel file, and I probably could have done less, but I removed some of the like non-pertinent information because they give you emails, they give you phone numbers, they give you like a lot of stuff that you don't need just for like a good restaurant listing.
Hmm.
And then I sort of mapped it out with the JSON, and then fed it into Replit, and then like I just initially tested one just to show me one restaurant listing, and then said, all right, here's the rest of the file. Format these, and then give me, 6 featured restaurants on the first page, and then house the other restaurants in the all restaurants page.
Hmm. Okay.
And then from there, yeah, the sort of the idea I think on the other side of it is like the outreach to the restaurants. I think I'd mentioned in the other talk that we did was doing like cold email to get restaurants to backlink to the site as like an
Okay.
awards, like, hey, you won this restaurant award. I haven't done that as much recently, just because I've been seeing traffic come through with or without it. But what I have done is I had a couple restaurants claim their listing. Whether like when I posted about it on like Facebook, a restaurant came in and claimed their listing as in emailed me their restaurant info, and I already had that info, but I changed instead of having a button on the individual restaurant page that says claim your listing, I removed that for that specific page and said like it has a little verified icon, sort of like Twitter or whatever X. Um, so a little bit more of like a trust indicator. So I'm trying to get more people, more restaurants to do that. But
Interesting.
yeah, the process is sort of unbelievably simple in terms of going from Outscraper to actually having a restaurant listing and the site
That's
live.
that's really cool that it's a lot easier. Again, as usual, I'm kind of overthinking. Although, in my defense, I have talked to multiple people who told me how complicated it is
Hmm.
to do it, the data wise, and getting the
Yeah.
data in the system and all this. So, again,
The
it it's doable without going the super hard route. It sounds like.
yeah, the one that I did for the other newsletter, it took me an hour and a half, maybe, maybe a little bit less than that to build something that then I sent to them saying like, hey, here's this directory. Like
Hmm.
um, outside of buying a domain and all that stuff, it was fairly easy to do.
It's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, like at scale, like okay, if you launch some other directories or you just want to like start from there building out a directory and getting traffic and then getting newsletter signups on like a super low cost,
Hmm.
it's a crazy idea.
Yeah. What did this cost you on Outscraper? I'm looking at their
um
a little confusing pricing.
for it varies, like you can select like if you want emails to then go out to them and to if you want emails it's like 0.003 cents per email, and then if you want the email's verified, it's another 0.003 or something like that. Excuse me, very cheap. The list for the I have 165 on the other newsletter that for that restaurant directory. I think it cost me like $10, maybe something like that. Very like
For the
under.
2,300 restaurants.
That was probably no, that's for a different one, but that was probably like nominal, like maybe $25.
Okay, so no, I
Um,
mean, I'm
yeah,
considering
like
that like nothing
in the
compared to
grand
what I was
scheme of
expecting.
things, yeah, super
Yeah.
low.
Okay. And then also, just so everybody knows, um, I'm obsessed with this. Which, by the way, this I do think there's a newsletter correlation to this idea, which is one of the things I'm working on. But anyway, I don't want to get into that yet. But there's speaking of Replit, um, just today, Lenny, his name is Lenny Rachinsky. He's like the biggest product manager guy in the world. He just launched his second version of his like bundle of AI apps. So for $200 for a year, you get access to like 15 good AI apps that would all cost you that same amount each. So, for example, Replit is one of them. So, if anybody's
Yeah.
hearing this and like, oh, I want to use Replit for to do what he's saying, and you don't have an account, just go to Lenny's thing, sign up because you also get Bolt, you also get Lovable, you also get N8N, all these things for $200. Anyway, I love this, and I spent
Yeah.
this morning downloading all my free codes for these apps. So, anyway, if you
I
want to do
haven't,
Replit, do that.
yeah, I have to get into some of the other ones. I haven't really used anything outside of Replit and some of like the other, nothing like N8N or anything like that. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to
Well,
get
N8N
into
is
it.
very confusing. I barely have used it. My partner uses it a ton. He's like an N8N expert, so I know all about it. But it's hard. But what I do so now because of Lenny's thing, and I had this before because I was part of his deal before as well. I have Bolt, Lovable, V0, and now Replit. I missed Replit on the last one, so now I have Replit. So what I'll do is when I want to build something, I'm just throw the prompt in all four of them and see how they do.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
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 Now V0 to me is the winner 95% of the time. Bolt has once done a better looking site, but so my preference is V0. But again, I haven't used Replit in like 9 months,
Hmm.
so maybe it's better now that I have it as of this morning. I'm going to try that as well.
One of the like the when you talk about like testing him out in all four, I saw a tweet from Greg Eisenberg that was like positioning AIs against each other. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I did this for a like the best restaurants in the Timonium area, which is sort of where I'm at. And it gets like 1,200 like searches per month. So I was like, all right, great. Let me try out like a SEO'd out blog. And I had ChatGPT write it, and then I had Claude write it. And so I said to Claude, like, hey, ChatGPT just wrote this SEO optimized blog. Like, can you do any better? And then that spit out something. And then I think I went back to ChatGPT and said, hey, Claude just did this. Like, and it ended up like that one, that blog specifically is ranking in the top on the first page for that search term.
So
So there's
not
something
only is
to it.
that is what you just said a good idea, because you're right, and I saw him tweet about that. I've been doing that for a while, but there's an even easier version of what you just said, which is stay in the same system and do the same thing. So I'll ask for something and
Hmm.
it'll give me a good response, and I'll go back and say, is this really the best you can do?
Yeah, yeah.
Please give yourself a review and tell me what you missed. And every single time it'll be like, yeah, this is pretty good, but I missed this, this, and this. I'm like, okay, go do those. Like, let's go. And sometimes I've done it 3 times and they'll do it. But even just once, it'll tell you what it didn't do and tell it to do it, and then you'll get a much better response. So if you really need something great, you can go back, do what you said, and go to different LLMs and stuff. But I would recommend always just do that at
Yeah.
minimum in any LLM you're in. Just say, tell me what you missed, and then fix it.
Yeah,
So
there's
yeah,
so many accounts that talk about like the art of prompting, and it's just something as simple as that being like this is good, but give yourself a review. Can you do
yeah,
better?
yeah,
And
exactly.
not overcomplicating it.
That's right. It's funny. What one of the tools I literally have looked at it once this morning is called Chat PRD that you get for free
Hmm.
in Lenny's bundle, and it's basically, from what I can tell, it if you're trying to build apps in these systems or things like this, it knows exactly how to write these PRDs, like to tell Replit or whatever on what to build for you, and it does what we're talking about, but in a perfect way for PRDs, right? So you can put in your plan for, hey, I want Replit to build me this, and then it'll build you a perfect PRD of how to do it, as opposed to like what I've been doing is having ChatGPT do it, which still does an amazing job.
Yeah.
But I even can put my ChatGPT one in there and say, review this as a PRD product that specializes in this. And it told me, like, oh, it missed this, it missed the user journey, it missed the UI UX complication, it missed this, this, and this. I'm like, okay, write it yourself, fix those things, and then it did. Right. So
Let's check that out.
anyway, yeah, there's so much cool. And then there's even a couple UI UX like tools in there too. I've not used those yet, but that seem exciting, because again, that's one of the problems with the replets and V0s and all of them. The first thing you get out of those is just gonna be really boring and really
Right.
ugly.
Yeah.
And then I just go in and yell at them and say, make it better looking, and it just takes a bunch of effort. Where I'm hoping these UI UX ones, they might just be good, first
Right
shot.
off the bat.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But um, Matt, this has been killer. I really appreciate you jumping on again, coming on so fast after you were on last time. But you got interesting stuff, and I'm so glad that you came on and shared. So really appreciate that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Happy to share.
Yeah, well, let's. We might need to have you back again sometime relatively soon, because it sounds like you are going to start pursuing this more, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The cash drop is definitely
Yeah,
going to be more of a thing, if especially if we
yeah,
get inbound, a lot more inbound stuff,
exactly.
and trying to do some interesting things with the newsletters and the directories as the sort
Hmm.
of the funnel into adding people to the list. So yeah,
Awesome. Well, I'm going to do it too. So hopefully next time we talk, we'll have even more info for people. We'll have 2 people who
great.
have done it to share. So awesome. Appreciate you, Matt.
Thanks, TJ.
All right. See you.